Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What then does the Quran say about modern Western civilization? Here we come to a sad reality. It's a sad reality, and we do not describe it in any way meant to humiliate others. We simply want to enter into the record a sad reality that the world of Islamic scholarship has not as yet presented from the Quran that which explains the phenomenon of modern Western civilization. If I am wrong, I invite you to correct me, not just the audience that is listening to me here in Durban, but in addition, the larger audience who would listen to this lecture on the internet around the world. If I am wrong, I invite you to correct me. Tell me, who are the scholars of the Quran who have used the Quran and explained from the Quran the phenomenon of modern Western civilization? My teacher of blessed memory, Maulana Dr. Muhammad Fadl Rahman Ansari, and his teacher, Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, must be credited as pioneers in the effort to offer from the Quran that which explains the phenomenon of modern Western civilization. But for reasons best known to them, they never publicized their views. And when they did speak, they spoke in such a way that it was not clear, for reasons best known to them. But nevertheless, they must be recognized as pioneers in the field. I do not include the Turkish scholar Badiüzzaman Sayyid Nursi in that group, although he also seems to be bordering the group. What does Iqbal say? And what does Maulana Fadl Rahman Ansari say about that which explains from the Quran the phenomenon of modern Western civilization? Iqbal did it in Urdu, in poetry, not in prose. And he, somewhere around 1917, he published this astonishing verse in Urdu. Khul gaye Ya'juj aur Ma'juj ke lashkar tamam. All the armed forces of Gog and Magog have now been released. All. Chashme Muslim dekh le, tafsir harfi ransilun. The world of Islam must now direct its attention to the Quran, says Iqbal. And when you direct your attention to the Quran, you must direct your attention to Surah Al-Anbiya, says Iqbal. And when you direct your attention to Surah Al-Anbiya, you must direct your attention to this passage, which ends with the word Yansirun. What is the passage of the Quran to which Iqbal is directing attention way back in 1917, more than 100 years ago. Allah speaks in Surah Al-Anbiya about a town. And I have explained this 500,000 times already. So my audience might be fed up of me by now. But I can explain it another 500,000 times, and it would appear it makes no difference. It makes no difference. It's just whistling in the wind. The world of Islamic scholarship will not accept. That is the sad reality. وَحَرَامٌ عَلَى قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَاهَا أَنَّهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. Allah speaks of a town, and He said He destroyed the town, and He expelled the people of the town, and He then placed a ban on them that they could never return to reclaim that town as their own. Hatta, until when? Hatta iza futihat. Mark the language. Futihat. Mark the language. Futihat. Until hatta iza futihat Ya'juj wa Ma'juj wa hum min kulli hadabin yansilun. And they will never return to reclaim this town until Gog and Magog are released. And when they are released, they spread out in all directions. And in the Hadith al-Qudsi, recorded in Sahih Muslim, Allah speaks and says, I have created creatures of mine, meaning Gog and Magog, who are so powerful that none but I can destroy them. So when Gog and Magog are released into the world, they come with a power which is indestructible. There is no power in the world which can stand up to them, to defeat them. If ever they withdraw from a battle, it is because there is a public relation disaster if they continue. That's not a defeat. That's a withdrawal. So who are Gog and Magog? They are a people who will bring these people back to that town from which they had been expelled, and Allah had placed a ban on them. And which is the town? Maulana Fadlur Rahman Ansari, rahimahullah, came to the conclusion that the town was Jerusalem. And he was correct. But he did not publish his views. He did not publish his views, and we got to know of his views from someone else who said, Maulana Fadlur Rahman Ansari explained the subject to me. And that man wrote a small pamphlet on Israel and Gog and Magog, and I read that pamphlet.